In a world where the game Shen Kai made fantasy real, a dude stood just half a step from the top, only to get totally backstabbed by the one person he thought he could trust, his sis Kin Xyo. In his last moments, stabbed in the back and drained of energy, he watched her and her boo song face swipe the epic artifact he had worked hard to claim. But fate, or maybe that artifact itself, threw him a lifeline, bringing him back to 2025, the exact day the game hit the planet. This time, no sappy stuff, no protecting a snake. It was all about revenge and the lonely grind for power. After a serious showdown, he cut ties with his manipulative sis, handing over their parents' cash and calling her a stranger from then on. Then he hopped into the game that had once been his glory, and his downfall, picking a new role as an assassin. As he made his choice, the divine artifact from his past life, the Eye of Judgment, activated, rewriting his fate and giving him the sickest hidden profession shadow. He was reborn not just in time, but with mad power, holding an ultimate authority that blew the game's rules, ready to crush the world that took everything from him. He stepped into the wild newbie town, a grim vet among lost rookies, with his quest for vengeance just getting started. Other new players were flipping out from their first fight, whining about the tough monsters and the brutal penalty of losing half their lives upon dying. A blonde archer named Lizzie, leading a recently wiped crew, caught a glimpse of the MC's dope gear and invited him to roll with them, foolishly bragging about their experiences of getting wrecked. The MC just walked past all cold, saying no need, leaving them blown away by his icy attitude. Frustrated, they decided to tail him, hoping to see the cocky player get what's coming to him. Lizzie, though, felt something was off about him, noticing his sick gear and speed, and thought that trailing this mysterious player could unlock some key info about the deadly new world. Her instincts were on point. The MC paused, having already sensed her and activated Shadow Sneak, disappearing into thin air before her eyes. Stunned by a starter skill that made him invisible, Lizzie's crew gave up and bounced back to town. Alone again, the MC marveled at the power of his new class stealth, so on point that no early game player or monster could pick him out. He checked his stats, grinning at the huge bonuses from his shadow class, and dumped all 5 of his starting points into agility, knowing it was the real deal for survival and damage in the early game. He quickly spotted a level 1 crawler, the same beast that had wrecked Lizzie's squad, and geared up to show the difference between a newbie and a reincarnated pro. With perfect timing, he pulled off a stealth break strike from behind, hitting the monster's weak spot and wiping it out with one killer move. He was a bit shocked by the insane damage, realizing it was a sick combo of his class passives and skills coming together, a feat that would have been impossible for his warrior class in his last life. As he grabbed the loot, a notification popped up. The Eye of Judgment had activated, blessing him with a unique primal talent called Infinite Evolution. This dope ability let him spend evolution points earned from monster kills to upgrade his skills beyond the normal limits. A power that literally broke the game's rules. Without even thinking, the MC dumped his points into upgrading Shadow Sneak and Backstab, making them way more effective and stretching his stealth time to the point where he could chill invisible forever. While he was getting used to his new power, a couple of clueless jocks stumbled on him, making fun of his slim build and offering to carry him through the game. The MC just ghosted them and vanished, leaving them totally confused. Just as a level 1 bronze boss, the Nurturer erupted from the ground. He scoped out the boss and its minions, deciding it was the perfect test for his upgraded skills. He launched a stealth attack, landing a huge 338 damage, but took a small hit back, reminding him that even he wasn't untouchable. The raging boss started going wild, making a direct approach too risky. The MC adapted on the fly, coming up with a brilliant if cheesy plan. He'd wait for his stealth cooldown, then just toss a rock. The thrown stone, boosted by all his stealth and backstab bonuses, hit the beast for almost 300 damage. As he whittled down the boss, a server-wide announcement shocked every player in Shelltown. Player Shadow had taken out the Nurturer and was the first to hit level 2. Back in the real world, Kin Xyo was ranting to her friends about her controlling brother, lying about the slap mark on her face and callously wishing he would drop dead, just as players across the globe started turning semi-transparent. Back in the game, the MC snagged his rewards for the boss kill, including a bronze skill book for Greedy Hand. He recognized it as a god-tier skill for farming, giving a 20% chance for extra loot drops. He instantly realized its potential when mixed with his infinite evolution talent. He could turn that 20% into 100%. He used his new evolution points to level Greedy Hand from bronze to gold, raising its success rate to 70% and instantly scoring an extra 2 evolution points and 46 days of lifespan from the boss's corpse. Now armed with a fresh dagger and a sick plan, he bounced out to hunt some tougher monsters. He ran into a crew of 6 led by Wang Mang, who were totally struggling against a bronze boss, the Sprint Predator. The MC peeped them from his past life full squad of hidden class players for real. But even their squad power wasn't cutting it. As the fight dragged, more monsters rolled in, and they got wrecked when a Corruptor showed up and completely debuffed them. Out of nowhere, the MC popped the Corruptor with one shot, leaving Wang Mang's squad shook no clue who their mysterious hero was. He then took out another Corruptor, snagging the Venom Dart skill book, which he instantly boosted to silver rarity. Just when Wang Meng was about to be toast from the boss, a bunch of poison darts hit the creature from an unseen hero, melting its health bar. The damage over time with the MC's passives was enough to finish the job, snagging him all the kill credit and loot. Wang Meng tried to thank his lifesaver, but the MC just warned him to not trust peeps so easily before disappearing. The MC looted the boss's body with his powered-up greedy hand, stacking his inventory with some dope gear. With his bags loaded, he cruised back to town, laser-focused on his ultimate goal, getting revenge on Song Fei. Back in town, players were losing hope, stuck trying to hit level 3 to log out. Zhang Li, a spoiled rich girl, started spreading a wild rumor. She would shell out 10 million real-world bucks to whoever could power level her. The MC returned to the cursed area, spotting a boss he noticed earlier, and used the evolution points he farmed to level up Greedy Hand again. This time to Jade Rarity, which gave it a 160% chance for extra loot and a 20% chance to boost the loot's rarity. Then he headed back to town and set up shop, causing major hype, as players recognized the server's top dog, Shadow. A player named Gay Rose and her crew pooled their cash together to buy a skill book from him for 100 days of tradable life. Right after that, Zhang Li swaggered over and dropped her 10 million cash offer. The MC, spotting her from his past life as a straight-up villain, turned her down flat, saying cash was trash and only tradable life was worth it. When she threatened him, he coldly promised to take her out in-game until her lifespan hit 0, making her back off in fear. After selling off all his stuff and racking up a fortune in tradable life, the MC was ready to dip out of town again to hunt the damned. He vanished in front of the chaos, thinking to himself that in this new world, it's all about your own strength. Out of breath, Zhang Li swore payback on the MC, but then player Old Mao stepped in, offering to power level her for the 10 million reward. He dropped a simple tip: put all your starting points into agility to outrun the noob monsters, which impressed her, so she hired him for half the price, throwing shade at the MC for missing out on easy cash. Meanwhile, the MC found the damned now evolved into a silver tier boss called the Curse Master, and he wasn't gonna wait for its next evolution. He let loose with venom darts and stealth strikes, expertly kiting the powerful mage boss. Knowing its mega damage area attacks could wipe him out, he played it cool, waiting for a chance to strike vanished again, and kept chipping away at his huge health bar with skill and stealth. With its health almost gone, the boss tried to dip, but the MC wrapped things up, soaring from level 3 to 5 with 1 kill. Using his emerald tier greedy hand, he looted the body twice, triggering a rare upgrade effect and scoring a gold tier item from the silver boss, plus a massive haul of evolution points and lifespan. As the MC juggled his overflowing inventory, players back in town were blown away by the leaderboard update showing him at level 5 only minutes after they saw him at level 3. Wang Meng and his crew decided to log off and give their fams a heads up about the game's dark side. Back in the real world, Wang Meng got debriefed by his police superiors, spilling everything he knew about the game and the mysterious player Shadow. The authorities, piecing together the puzzle, realized how serious this was. The game was a legit threat, and lagging behind could have global fallout, so they set up vanguard teams to explore this new reality. Meanwhile, Kin Xyo fumed over the MC's silence, reminiscing about her crush, Song Fei, and realized she could find him in the game. She hit up another player, Zhang Wei, who was totally crushing on her, giving her the same basic agility tips, swearing to carry her in-game. Feeling cocky and armed with a bit of know-how, she logged in, determined to one-up the MC. The MC was back in the game, checking out his loot, including a dope gold tier curse ring and a silver tier AoE skill, Instant Shadow Slash. He instantly learned that skill and poured his evolution points into upgrading both it and Greedy Hand, leveling it up to diamond tier, which now guaranteed 2 extra loot drops per kill. He tested his new AoE skill on a horde of limb crawlers, wiping them out in a flash and loving his new farming speed. With his bags stuffed again and his tradable lifespan almost maxed out to unleash his powers, he set his sights on hitting level 10. Back in town, Zhang Li and her new buddy Old Mao were hyped about reaching level 3 and logging out, triggering the town's teleportation formation. The MC spotted this, setting a flag for when another town's portal lit up, since his real goal was waiting beyond the beginner zones in the God's abandoned realm. About the game and the mysterious player Shadow, the authorities, piecing together information, realized the gravity of the situation. The game was a real threat, and falling behind could have global consequences, prompting them to form vanguard teams to explore this new reality. Meanwhile, Kin Xyo fumed over the MC's lack of apology, reminiscing about her crush Song Fei, and realizing she could find him in the game. She sought advice from another player, Zhang Wei, who, smitten with her, gave her the same basic agility tip, promising to carry her in the game. Cocky and armed with a little knowledge, she logged in, determined to surpass the MC. The MC, back in the game, examined his loot, including a powerful gold tier curse ring and a silver tier AoE skill, Instant Shadow Slash. He immediately learned the skill and used his mountain of evolution points to upgrade both it and Greedy Hand, raising the latter to diamond tier, which now gave him a guaranteed 2 extra loot drops per kill. He tested his new AoE skill on a pack of limb crawlers, wiping them out instantly and marveling at his increased farming efficiency. With his bags full, again, and his tradable lifespan nearing the amount needed to extract his powers, he set his sights on level 10. Back in town, Zhang Li and her new guide, Old Mao, celebrated reaching level 3 and logging out, activating the town's teleportation formation in the process. The MC noted this, setting an alert for when another town's portal activated, as his true goal lay beyond the beginner areas in the god's abandoned realm. So he threw another flash sale, and boom, sold out like in a snap, racking up a dope 650 days of respawn time. Just as he was piecing out that Grey Rose chick the seer from before, hit him up with a rare space ring for his help taking down a gold tier boss she found. The MC instantly recognized the boss she was talking about like the Golden Ghost ship, a super rare world boss, and he was like, whoa, she's got to be the legendary koi fish player from his past life. He was down with her offer, and they dipped. But not before a crew of other players started following them, totally checking out Grey Rose. The MC led her away, then ghosted, and took out the 5 wannabes in a flash, snagging their weak lifespans, before meeting back up with the confused seer. After a weird convo about how to pee while invisible, they finally reached the boss's hideout. Meanwhile, Kin Xyo logged in for the first time, discovering she had some hidden class, and spotted Shadow on top of the leaderboard, thinking he was way better to chase than Zhang Wei. She quickly linked up with Wang Ming's squad looking for a healer. At the cliff's edge, the MC threw out a warning to his new buddy, whom he playfully dubbed Little Black, to keep it stealthy while he handled the boss. He kicked off the fight knowing all the Golden Ghost ship's moves from his past life, effortlessly dodging its heavy hits and aiming for its secret weak spot. That ghost fire bell on the mast summoned a dozen gnarly water ghosts, but the MC just stayed invisible, grouped them up, and wrecked them with a sick instant shadow slash. He then casually told Little Black she was about to witness his demise. Totally confused, she watched as the boss unleashed its epic soul surge, freezing and killing the MC with one hit. A squad of players who'd been waiting for this moment rushed in to snatch the dropped lifespan orb and finish off the boss. But that ship wasn't having any of it. Its AoE attacks wiped them out fast. The MC jumped in explaining to Little Black that he totally planned on dying to bait the boss's ultimate attack since it only pops once. He then easily wrapped up the weakened boss, dodging its teleportation tricks with his insane knowledge of its moves. Just when he was about to drop the final hit, Little Black legit jumped in to block the players who were back for another shot, giving him the time he needed. The MC took down the boss, causing a server-wide shoutout about their first gold-tier boss kill and leveling up to 8. Using his invisibility, he peeped another group of players led by some hunter with an anti-stealth skill sneaking up on the loot pile thinking they could grab him. But his shadow class was way too slick for that. Their skill flopped, and they decided to chill while waiting for that 5-minute loot ownership timer. The MC took that chance to level up Greedy Hand to Epic Tier, scoring a 300% chance for extra loot with a 100% shot to level up its rarity. He then bagged his rewards, getting a mind-blowing triple loot haul, which included 2 Ghostfire Bells, special goodies that keep lifespans from dropping on death. Just as he was checking out his sick loot, he heard Little Black scream for help. Little Black, backed into a corner by a bunch of players, decided to jump off the cliff instead of getting caught. Respawning safe back in town, the MC checked on her to make sure she was all good, then got back to focusing on his epic loot. He tried to evolve Greedy Hand even more, but the cost shot up like crazy. So instead, he dumped his evolution points into boosting his offensive skills, cranking up the power on instant shadow, slash, and backstab. He then put on his new platinum dual blades and gold leather armor, making his stats go through the roof. Last but not least, he learned Ghost Shadow Blur, a dodge-based survival move, and realized how insane it could get once evolved. On his way back to town, he ran into those peak curs that had messed with Little Black, who were now quaking and begging for their lives. The MC had zero mercy, taking them all out and scoring a killer debuff, which he shrugged off thanks to his Ghost Fire Bell. Back in town, another squad of players, humbled by his skill, tossed him a skill book as a lame apology, which he took before disappearing. The embarrassed players plotted to hunt the MC down IRL and make him their slave. Meanwhile, the MC linked back up with Little Black and gave her 2 gold gear pieces, making her totally lose it. She then told him about a ruin entrance she found, and he accepted her space ring as payment. His inventory shot up to 27 slots. The MC bounced toward the ruins, knowing they would be a gold mine for lifespan and evolution points for him. He rolled up to what he recognized as a temple of faith, specifically one that belonged to the ancient god of judgment, the same god tied to his Eye of Judgment artifact. Inside, he wasn't met with a fight, but rather 2 silver tier monsters on their knees, devoted followers who totally recognized his power. He took them down easily and was about to dig deeper when Grey Rose's crew stumbled into the ruins, only to be wiped out super fast by the same monsters. The MC grabbed the lifespan they dropped and hit the monster corpses with his epic Greedy Hand, raking in an unbelievable haul that included 32 evolution points over 500 days of lifespan, and a gold tier assassin accessory that had summon abilities. He equipped the new pendant, feeling the awesome cooldown reduction it offered, then discovered this secret lift took him way down into a sketchy maze. To dodge the traps down there, he called up his new loyal buddy to scout for him. And just to be extra safe, he leveled up his Ghost Shadow Blur to Epic Mode, giving him a wild 75% dodge chance. He then spent 3 hours exploring the maze, using his summon as a buffer to clear the way. Finally, he stumbled upon a treasure chest being watched by this spooky ghost lady, who peaced out as he got close, leaving the chest unlocked. Inside, he scored an epic skill book, Bestowal of Mercy, which was this insane assassin skill that doubled damage on weak points and added a nasty bleed effect. Super excited about his loot, he zoomed back to town just as the teleport gates from other starter towns opened up, flooding the place with players from all over. He got mobbed by fans, but he totally ignored them and teleported to Firefly Town, where Song Fei's crew was chilling. There he met up with Wang Mang's squad to sell the gear he had picked up and was shocked to see his shady sister Kin Xyo somehow on their team. Trying to keep his identity under wraps, he did the trade nicely, giving them the gear on credit, which really earned him Wang Mang's loyalty. Kin Xyo, now calling herself Little Graceful, boldly asked for priest gear, but the MC just ghosted her friend request and dipped. He had a priest stuff, but there was no way he'd give it to her. He decided to look for a better priest to take her place in Wang Mang's crew. Remembering a powerful player from his past life, Gui Shu, who was also from Firefly Town, he rolled up to the Wailing Valley, where things were chaotic with tons of squads battling over a silver tier boss, the twin-headed beast in Berry. He spotted his target Song Fei surrounded by his squad of brainwashed fangirl mages using dumb strategies to fight. Just as Song Fei and his hype squad were about to drop the final blow on the boss, dreaming of climbing the leaderboards, the MC swooped in with a single sick instant shadow slash. He wiped out the boss and took out Song Fei and his whole crew in one smooth move. The players around were shocked into silence before bursting into cheers for the legendary shadow who had taken down the tyrant Song Fei. After he respawned, Song Fei was super embarrassed, but quickly rallied a new fan army, swearing revenge on the mysterious assassin who had wrecked him. Meanwhile, the MC got greedy and checked the pile of bodies, then leveled up Bestow of Mercy to legendary status, massively cranking up its power. Now that his business was done, he was about to head back to his town when suddenly he was ambushed by Song Fei's new revenge squad. The hunt for celebrity player Song Fei was on, and his fans, the Fei fans, were hell-bent on protecting their idol, vowing to avenge any disrespect. One fan used a detection skill, spotting a sneaky figure, and shouted for an all-out attack with their strongest moves, only to find they just obliterated one of their own, trying to be sneaky too. The real hunter, the player known as Shadow, stayed hidden, his stealth game way stronger than their basic detection skills. Taking advantage of their confusion, the MC whipped out a special item, the Ghostfire Bell, unleashing a soul shock that froze every enemy within 100 meters. With his targets frozen, he dropped an instant Shadow Slash, a whirlwind of blue energy and steel that wiped out the entire squad in one swift move, leaving the surviving players baffled about how they all died so fast. The MC was totally unimpressed by their fanaticism, thinking how these players had wasted all their tradable lifespan on Song Fei, making their deaths totally pointless for anyone but the monsters ready to munch on their non-tradable life force. Realizing he needed a better way to keep tabs on his prey, the MC sought out a player named Gu Yixu, a girl with a sick wide area search ability, and made her an offer she couldn't turn down: a gold tier staff for basically a steal. While she tracked down Song Fei's latest hideout, the MC found an ancient god's blessing, a hidden puzzle that opened up a jade tier treasure chest. Inside was a game-changing skill called Blossoming Curse, an ability that could suck the tradable lifespan right out of a player's fresh corpse. Armed with the ultimate tool to bankrupt his target, the MC closed in, arriving just as Song Fei's crew was caught up in a massive brawl with fans of a rival idol, New Jockey. Their battle cries echoed across the desolate landscape. As the fan war raged on, Song Fei's followers chanted poetic slogans of loyalty. Their voices created this weirdo chorus among the chaos. A visibly touched Song Fei turned to his fans, voice thick with emotion, thanking his fam for their sacrifices and loyalty. One fan tearfully shared how they almost got jumped by New Jockey's savage followers, but others quickly jumped in to offer support, their devotion unwavering. In that moment of fake sentimentality, a flicker of blue energy swirled in the air right behind the idol. The MC's shadow had shown up his voice, a chilling whisper that sliced through the noise. Song Fei, you're already dead. A nearby fan could only scream, brother, while the MC's blade cleanly sliced through Song Fei, ending his life in a flash. As the idol's body crumpled to the ground, the MC activated his new power, Blossoming Curse. A massive ethereal flower of pure crimson energy burst violently from the corpse, a terrifying sight that made the freshly respawned Song Fei totally freak out. Like, what in the world is this crazy thing? Back at the basic blue glow of the respawn point, Song Fei was on a rage trip. Just couldn't wrap his head around why this shadow dude was chasing him so hard, totally assuming it was cause of his huge girl fan squad. But then his anger flipped to straight up fear when a system alert popped up, letting him know his tradable lifespan was dropping fast, the digits racing down from 400 like it was no biggie. He was raging hard, yelling that it wasn't his deal if some girl the main character was serenading happened to be one of his fans. A follower sprinted over, freaked out, and explaining that Shadow had whipped up a blood-red flower on his dead body, and that thing was sucking life out of him. The horrifying truth hit Song Fei harder than a ton of bricks. The MC wasn't just out to take him down, he was trying to bleed him dry. In pure panic mode, he yelled for his whole crew to log off right this second before he lost everything he'd worked for. He swore revenge, bragging about his 2.5 years of grinding hard and his plan to crush Shadow with his fat stacks of real-world cash. On the now still battlefield, the MC watched that red flower fade away, having snagged another 1,000 days of lifespan. A system message buzzed up marking him a Slayer Tier 4, warning him that if he bit the dust again, it would cost a ridiculous 96,875% of his own lifespan. Sucked away another 1,000 days from his life. A pop-up hit him, slapping a Tier 4 Slayer badge on him, and warning that the next time he kicked the bucket, it would zap a crazy 96,875% of his lifespan. Guyu, who totally saw it all go down, was shook, scared out of her mind by the raw power of the game's top dog. She told the MC that Song Fei and all his fans had logged off. The MC chilled, told her to keep an eye out and give him a shout the moment they showed up again. As a thank you and a new task, the MC offered Gu Yishu a gold tier priest skill book, Holy Judgment Sword, for half off, but only if she joined a specific squad as their go-to healer. She jumped in kinda nervous to make sure there were no hidden catches. He promised her the team was solid and that he'd set up the intro. The scene switched to a dark, rainy forest where another squad was in serious trouble. Their captain was poisoned, and their healer, this girl named Zhu, totally flopped her cleanse spell, leading to the captain getting knocked out quick. The rest of the crew grimly agreed she needed to be replaced. Meanwhile, clueless Zhu was solo, throwing a little party for hitting level 4, dreaming about the day she'd get to meet her idol Song Fei. The team leader, Wang Meng, got a dope message from his big brother, the MC, saying he had a powerful hidden class priestess lined up. Wang Meng totally trusted the hookup and jumped on the offer. Soon after, Wang Meng and his squad coldly ditched Xu, giving her a weak excuse about their new leveling spot being too dangerous for her. Seeing through the BS, she stormed off, all mad, declaring she was going to find the legendary Shadow to join her instead. The MC met up with Wang Meng in town, who dropped 800 days of lifespan as a down payment for gear. Just then, a boss lady in shiny armor named Inu rolled up. The MC instantly recognized her player ID, Justice Execution, a dragon knight with a rare hidden class. And back in his old life, she was one of the top 20 players worldwide. She greeted the MC with real excitement, all fangirling over the player who had ranked higher than her. After transferring the last 500 days of lifespan owed, she started low-key probing him, asking about his leveling secrets, and joking that he might be a reincarnator. Then she dropped the bomb that she held all the official lifespan for Ganghai City, and playfully asked if he planned on taking her out for it. The MC saw right through her innocent act, spotting the sharp, ruthless mind hiding under there. He played it cool, assuring her that collabing would be way better for both of them. Back in the real world, chaos was on the rise. An official announcement confirmed that lifespan in the game was tied to real life, and a zero balance meant you actually kicked the bucket. This news sent shockwaves through Song Fei's fanbase. One fan who played a tank mage and had died was checking her status like no way, realizing she had just 1 day of life left. Spotting a notification that Song Fei was snatching up Lifespanner Public Plaza, she saw a glimmer of hope. She threw on her Song Fei fan gear from head to toe, including a branded ultra-thin anti-leak thingy, and dashed out the door to meet her hero. Another fan, a girl with long dark hair, logged out to find herself rolling in dough thanks to the 200 days of life she had stacked up. Her joy didn't last long as she saw the online buzz about Shadow repeatedly taking down Song Fei. The grim reality of the official news crashed down on her, and realizing her idol was in deep trouble, she resolved to hit the plaza and help him herself. In the game, the MC finally hit level 10, an achievement that triggered a worldwide server shoutout, declaring him the first to do it. He spent his points leveling up his backstab move and checked his character sheet. His tradable lifespan was now chilling at over 7,400 days. A new quest popped up. They needed 7 players to hit level 10 to unlock the teleportation portal to the next continent. Knowing it would be a long wait, the MC figured it was the perfect time to log off and take care of some real-world business. Materializing in his apartment, the MC kicked off the process of pulling his in-game power into reality, a process that totally drained a big chunk of his life grind. He snatched his class and levels instantly, leveling up to level 3 in the real world. His physical abilities shot up way past what regular humans could do. He was hyped to discover a loophole. The cost to pull up his sick, evolved skills was only based on their low-key original versions, making the whole deal a super sweet bargain. He yanked his platinum-grade Shadow Stealth skill and his silver-grade Venomous Dart into his body, feeling that rush of unreal power. Now rocking perfect invisibility and ranged poison attacks, he was totally down to put an end to Song Fei for good. He checked his phone and saw that Song Fei was still running his lifespan buying gig at Dadjiang Plaza just a few clicks away. An incoming call from his annoying workplace supervisor crashed his vibe. The supervisor was all like, "Hey, make sure you charm this girl who's got a crush on you." The MC just rolled his eyes, called him a moron, and blocked the number without even thinking twice. A smirk spread across his face as he got ready to bounce. These people, he thought, were about to learn a hard lesson about what this messed up game really was. Dadjiang Plaza was packed with wild fans, all hype for Song Fei. On stage, the star was chatting with his manager, who mentioned they were digging into Shadow's true identity. Their plan was to throw out a big cash offer to reel him in, then snag him. Song Fei was secretly sneering at his fans, thinking of them as clueless tools, but their worship was seriously boosting his ego. The event suddenly got interrupted by a protester yelling at the crowd, warning them not to sell their lives away, and accusing Song Fei of brainwashing them into offing themselves. Seizing the moment, Song Fei grabbed the mic and put on a showstopper of a performance. He dramatically apologized for any chaos, showered his fans with love, and preached about healthy idol worship. He spun his lifespan hustle as a heroic quest to be an epic idol working with the law for the better of society. The crowd was totally eating it up. A super enthusiastic lady fan, overwhelmed with feels, ran up on stage and declared that anyone not willing to give up everything for their bro didn't deserve to call themselves a fan. Her heartfelt rant sparked a frenzy, and peeps started yelling out how many days of their life they'd donate to him. Song Fei turned to this large fan, his voice dripping with fake gratitude, and told her how ridiculously grateful he was to be adored by someone so loyal. She swooned, saying she'd easily give her life for him right then and there. But as he kept talking, her eyes rolled back and she dropped to the floor lifeless. A wave of shock and fear crashed through the plaza. Before anyone could grasp what just happened, Song Fei himself gasped, clutched his chest, and collapsed on stage, also gone. His bodyguards flipped out, yelling that he was out of there and that his lifeline had vanished, snatched by some ghostly attacker. The manager's face went chalk white with a horrifying realization. Game skills worked in the real world, and there was only one person who could pull it off. Just then, a spectral blue blade popped into existence, shoving through him and the bodyguards in one silent strike. The young lady they were. Protecting stared in pure horror as the attacker flickered into view for a split second, revealing the icy glowing eyes of the MC. The name echoed through her mind. Shadow, a fan army of Song Fei, now included an archer with a stealth detection skill closing in. The MC just went stealth, baiting them out. One of the archers triumphantly shouted that she'd spotted him, and the whole mob fired their strongest skills at her spot, instantly blowing her up in a wild friendly fire explosion, while the others freaked out. The MC, who had never even been there, used his Ghost Fire Bell's Soul Shock ability, freezing the entire mob for 3 seconds. Then he unleashed a wicked Shadow Slash, wiping them all out in a sick display of power. As Song Fei reacted fuming and confused, the MC calmly tallied up the massive chunk of lifespan he had just snatched, noting how the clueless fans had given all their tradable life to their idol. Now, freaking out about the MC's power song, Fei decided to jet out and grind somewhere else. The MC, however, was not about to let him slide and sought out Gui Shu, the powerful hidden class priest from his past life. He found her and offered a gold-tier staff at a crazy discount in exchange for tracking down Song Fei's hideout. She was in. After a brief but awkward convo where the MC spilled that he knew she couldn't stand Song Fei, she tracked him down. On the way, the MC stumbled across an ancient god's blessing, a rare world event that spawned a jade-tier treasure chest. Inside, he found Blossoming Curse, a wicked skill that could drain a dead player's entire tradable lifespan. Now packed with the ultimate revenge tool, he learned the skill and went hunting for his target. He found Song Fei's crew squabbling with another fan group, watching as they turned on each other in this bizarre display of idol worship. Just as Song Fei's side was about to claim victory, the MC popped up and announced, "You guys are already dead," before once again taking out Song Fei and his whole crew. This time, as Song Fei's body hit the respawn point, a wicked red flower sprang up, draining his life super fast. Freaked out Song Fei and his crew bounced, hoping to ditch the curse. The MC hit up Gu Yixu, confirming they were out of there, then made a deal with her a super dope gold-tier skill book for her to join Wang Mang's squad as their go-to healer. Meanwhile, Kin Xyo was totally a flop as a priest, missing heals left and right, leading to her squad getting wrecked. Wang Mang's crew was ready to boot her when the MC shot them a message suggesting a new epic hidden class healer. They ditched Kin Xyo faster than a bad date and rushed to grab their new healer, leaving her steaming and swearing she'd get carried by Shadow instead. The MC linked up with Wang Mong and Gu Yishu and was shook to see Inu, a top-tier player from his past life, rolling with them. And Yu, repping the government, grilled the MC with questions while wrapping up the payment for the gear he sold them. Kicking off a formal, if kinda awkward business vibe, back in the real world, all hell broke loose when the government spilled the truth about the game. Dying in the game meant you were toast in reality. Song Fei's fans freaked out, realizing they kind of signed their lives away, while Kin Xyo, now in the know, caught a news clip showing Shadow taking her beloved idol down. Totally freaked, she realized Song Fei was in deep trouble and dashed to a public event where he was buying time to save himself. At the event, a protester went off on Song Fei for playing his fans. But he flipped the script with a tear-jerking speech, winning the crowd back, and even convincing them to hand over more of their lifespan. One fan, totally devoted, swore she'd lay down her life for him, and did just that, her body going limp as her in-game lifespan hit 0. Just then, Song Fei got blindsided, a sneaky dart hitting him in the chest while some invisible force snatched his lifelike orb. His guards could only watch in shock as their young lady got taken out too, the name of the killer ringing in their heads, Shadow. Afterward, news of Celebrity Zoo's death at Dajang Square sent shockwaves through the community, with cops confirming it was supernatural. Kin Xyo's squad chatted about the whole thing, theorizing that Shadow must be the dude who took him out, especially since he'd already killed him a bunch of times in-game, and wondered how game skills could pop off in real life. Kinsai Oyu, though, was drowning in grief and rage, her whole world wrecked by losing her idol. A dark determination settled in as she vowed her only mission moving forward was to take down Shadow for revenge against Zufi. Meanwhile, the MC, chilling as Qin Fang was munching, when he got a call from his old co-worker Yang Soya. He threw down a message from their annoying boss, Fatty who was mad Qin Fang ghosted his number and was threatening to fire him and ditch his paycheck. The MC, not sweating the small stuff, was way more interested in Cayenne Shishi, the spoiled daughter of the Cayenne Group's CEO and the real puppet master behind the company. He remembered from his past life how she hated her country and eventually joined an anti-Daxia crew in North America, causing him tons of headaches back then. He decided to take her out before she could stir up trouble again, cutting off the association's roots. Then he got a call from Kin Xyo, who coldly told him she bought a house and wanted nothing to do with him anymore. The MC was like, cool, ending the call while leaving her speechless by his chill. Unbeknownst to him, Kin Xyo was seething, telling her friend she'd soon vibe with Shadow and wouldn't need a loser like Qin Fang ever again, before hitting up her new sidekick Zhang Wei to snag a control-type skill book for the top player. Her plan was sneaky. She'd get close to Shadow, earn his trust, and then when he was vulnerable, AF take him out herself to avenge her beloved Zufa. The plan hit a snag when Zhang Wei reported back that Shadow had turned down the skill, trashing her scheme. Meanwhile, in the game, Zhang Wei's crew got wiped by an intense boss. A golden arthropod, a beast he figured was way too powerful for them. The MC, however, was tracking this exact boss. He knew from his past life that this boss had a level 2 anti-stealth ability, making his usual tricks pointless. Not backing down, he charged the beast, calling on his legendary skill, Bestow of Mercy, which let the boss's weak points expand by 200%. This let his multi-hit instant shadow slash land critical hits, even without the stealth, dishing out massive damage and making up for the lost backstab bonus. Spectators who had fallen to the boss gawked in awe, not able to wrap their heads around the MC's speed reflexes and deep knowledge of the beast's move patterns. He reminded himself he had battled this boss time and again in his past life, learning its every maneuver, making it way easier than unpredictable special bosses. As the boss tried to run, he easily finished it off, racking up a massive haul of experience, evolution points, and lifespan. The loot was even crazier, with a platinum tier skillbook Blacklight Shield, which turned dodge chance into damage immune shields. Knowing its insane worth, he quickly evolved it to epic tier, giving him a jaw-dropping 7 layers of damage immunity. He then leveled up his poison dart skill and rocked 2 shiny new pieces of gold gear, totally leveling up his stats and survival vibes. He flipped a gold skill book to a pumped-up mage player for 800 days of life, then some peeps from the Kang Wise team who saw his mad skills rolled up on him. Kin Xyo's new sidekick begged him for a hand, but the MC was like, nah. Then Wang Mong hit him up directly asking if he was the one who took out Song Fei in real life. The MC, knowing the fuzz probably had a clue, was straight up about the kill feeling, out their reaction, confirming that his resurrection was already messing with the game's timeline. He met up with Wang Mong and Inu in the town where they confirmed their snooping led right back to him. And Yu, repping the authority squad, was like, yo, Song Fei and Zhang Li were total criminals plotting against you. So they framed it as self-defense, giving the MC a solid get-out-of-jail-free card and keeping it chill between them. The MC then sold them a stash of platinum and gold gear for over 2,200 days of life, a deal that would beef up the government while stacking his own cash. He spilled the beans on how to hit level 10 for pulling skills into reality, pushing them to hurry before their enemies caught wind. right after he set up a stall not to sell, but to cop boss coordinates, catching the eye of one of Jang Lee's old lackeys. The dude who had been messed up and tortured by Jang Lee's crew spilled the tea on their shady dealings, backing up the MC's verdict. Soon after, a chick named Kyan Shishi, going by Lace of Spades, rolled up with a crew of foreign players, acting super high and mighty. The MC recognized her as the troublemaker from his past, realizing she was in the game and stirring up issues. She logged off to make a call, telling her crew to hit up Shadow and toss him 3,000 days of life to take out some nobody, a dude she thought had ghosted her advances. And that dude was, of course, Kin Feng. Meanwhile, Wee's team was having a meltdown with him giving the new healer a hard time for being lame. Frustrated, he logged off for a snack, leaving the squad in chaos. Back in reality, Kin Xyo found herself solo in her new pad, struggling to get food delivered, and finally realizing how much she had leaned on the bro she ditched. She gave herself a pep talk, promising to be her own boss before jumping back into the game. The MC on the grind took out 4 silver bosses in 1 hour, stacking up a load of loot and experience points. He figured he was close to leveling up, which was going to be huge for handling platinum bosses with mad stealth detection. As he rolled into town to sell his spoils, a player hit him up with a hit job on some loser named Kin Feng for 3,000 days of life. The MC instantly figured the client was Kyan Shishi. Realizing she was trying to use Shadow to wipe out Kin Feng, he took the gig, pocketing half the payment as a down payment, planning to flip the script on her. Then another player approached him, a woman who offered to guide him to a gold-tier boss, the Plague Bearer. The MC, sensing the danger of the boss's nasty poison, AoE, decided to follow her, only for her to reveal it was a setup by Dongfang Xian, another player he had previously taken down. The chick, totally being blackmailed, spilled the details, hoping the MC would take out Dongfang Xian for her. The MC, amused by her childishness, agreed and headed to the boss cave. There, he unleashed one super buffed attack that smacked out over 80,000 damage, nearly taking down the gold-tier Plague Bearer in one go. He decided to wait for Dongfang Xian's ambush team to show before finishing off the boss. The ambushers charged in, only to be blocked by a player named Shuzi, part of their complicated plot, packing a powerful gold-grade shield. The MC, totally unfazed, took her out with one hit, then hit up Blossoming Curse on the bodies of the entire ambush crew, wiping them out and snatching their lifespan at the same time. The informant, stunned and impressed, was rewarded with her freedom as the MC finally took down the Plague Bearer. The loot included a gold-tier skillbook, Blackout, which let him blind enemies, a dope counter for bosses with anti-stealth vibes. He learned it right away, knowing he'd be unstoppable no matter a boss's detection level. The MC equipped his shiny new platinum tier Plague Blade. Its unique poison explosion effect was an epic upgrade, then spent some time grinding on weak monsters to push his exp to the max for his first job advancement. He was lit in a golden glow as he leveled up from 0 tier to 1st tier Shadow. His attribute bonuses tripled, and his core passives got major upgrades. His stealth level went up to +2, his backstab multiplier spiked from 2 times to 3 times, and most importantly, he could now drop stealth skills while already stealthed, giving him true permanent invisibility. Just when he was vibing with his new power, a system announcement blared that 7 players hit level 10 in Jiangai City, triggering the opening of the teleportation array to the god-abandoned continent in 10 minutes. The MC checked the leaderboard and felt pretty hyped to see it packed with familiar names like Grey Rose and Wang Mang, a total flip from his past life, where foreign players ruled the early game, all thanks to his sway over the server. Back in the real world, he had to wait for Dongfang Xian's ambush crew to roll up before finishing off the boss. The ambushers stormed in, but they were stopped dead in their tracks by a player named Shuzi, who was part of their whacked-out plan and rocking a sick gold-grade shield. The MC, not even phased, took her out with one swift move, then slapped on Blossoming Curse on all the bodies of the ambush crew, wiping them clean and draining their lifespan at the same time. The informant was both freaked out and impressed, and as a treat, she got her freedom while the MC took down the Plague Bearer. The loot was a gold-tier skillbook Blackout, which let him blind foes, a huge win against bosses who could see through stealth. He learned it in a snap, knowing he wouldn't be held back by a boss's detection level anymore. The MC equipped his fresh platinum tier Plague Blade with its dope poison explosion effect, which fit perfectly into his setup. Then he got to grinding on little monsters to push his XP over the edge for his first job upgrade. He was wrapped in golden light as he upgraded from a 0 tier to a 1st tier Shadow. His stats tripled and his core abilities got major boosts. His stealth level bumped up to +2. His backstab multiplier shot from 2 times to 3 times, and the best part was he could now bust out stealth skills while already stealthed, giving him true permanent invisibility. Just as he was having a blast with his new powers, a system announcement dropped that 7 players hit level 10 in Jiangai City, triggering the teleportation array to the god-abandoned continent in 10 minutes. The MC checked the leaderboard and was stoked to see it filled with Familiar names like Gray Rose and Wang Mang, a major flip from his past life, where foreign players totally dominated the early game thanks to his influence on the server. Back in the real world, the cops acting on the MC's tips totally nabbed the major players of the Dajiang Industrial Criminal Group, but like 3 of them were still in the game and chilling out of reach. The police chief was all about praising the MC for his epic help, saying his intel on how to pull abilities into the real world gave them the jump on those superpowered punks. He called Shadow a must-have for the nation and made it clear he was gonna lock him in for good. Back in the game, the MC zipped over to the abandoned God continent, arriving in the deserted monster-filled wreckage of his hometown, Zhanggai City. He totally remembered from his past life that all players would land in a wrecked version of their real-world crib, which was some strange and unexplained game quirk. He made quick work of a monster using his upgraded skills and then took off to the northwest, headed for the spot that would become his God-slaying guild's hideout in his past life. Other players, including Wang Mang's crew, also showed up in their own city ruins. They were shook by how familiar, yet wrecked, everything looked, and they were getting wrecked by strong monsters because even a normal monster was giving Wang Mang's team a hard time. Realizing there was the gigantic power gap between the starter towns and this new continent, and knowing their only shot was to find the MC, they followed a trail of loot he purposely left behind, battling their way through the ruins towards his spot. Meanwhile, the MC reached his goal, a huge hidden underground palace that had been his guild's fortress. He remembered the crazy fight it took to conquer it in his past life, a battle that almost wiped out his 18 elite members, but this time he felt super confident he could handle it solo. Stepping into the land of soul purification, he was met by tons of level 12 gold-tier elemental spirits. He used his blackout skill to blind them, then sliced right through their ranks with instant shadow, wiping out the whole main hall in like 2 seconds. Realizing the sheer number of monsters in this massive dungeon, he figured it would be a huge but totally rewarding job to clear them all. One that would definitely snag enough evolution points to upgrade his greedy hand again. After systematically wrecking every hall and room, he knew the Guardian boss would pop up soon. All around the world, players in London and New York also found themselves in eerily accurate versions of their own city ruins trying to stay alive amidst the sudden level up in difficulty back in the Yunghai ruins. Wang Mang's squad followed the loot trail to where the MC had vanished, finding a hidden bunker. He had told them about a chill spot in this chaotic new zone. They hit him up, and he let him know he was busy promising to hook him up with some gear later. Back in the underground palace, the Guardian showed up. F.A. Sor, the Soul Purifier, a mega level 15 platinum tier boss. Remembering the brutal fight from his past, the MC knew that the boss's single-target lightning attacks were no joke, but with his way higher stats and skills this time, he was no longer forced to take those hits. He unleashed gnarly opening moves, stacking Slit Throat, Instant Shadow, Slash, and the Plague Blade's explosion to instantly chop away a third of the boss's 75,000 HP. As the boss switched to its second phase, becoming invincible and summoning lightning orbs, the MC calmly remembered the strategy his team had totally flopped on in his past life. A blunder that made Kin Xyo rage quit. He quickly took down the orbs with venom darts, triggering the third phase. A non-stop storm of AoE lightning strikes across the whole arena. Back in his past life, this phase needed 4 priests just to survive. This time, he just activated his epic tier, Blacklight Shield, jumped up into the air, and kept going with his assault completely immune to the lightning storm below. He wrapped it up with another instant shadow slash, making him the first player in the whole world to take down a platinum-grade boss and level up to 11. He claimed the land of soul purification as his new private hideout and couldn't believe that real-world weapons were corroding and going useless, making his new base one of the safest spots on Earth. Meanwhile, in the starter town, Kin Xyo and her new squad were getting wrecked by a basic silver boss, turning into bitter arguments and blaming each other for their fails. Just then, the global announcement of Shadow's platinum boss kill echoed through the game, leaving them and players everywhere in total shock and awe at his seemingly unreal power. The MC, having totally scored massive rewards from his kill, finally racked up enough evolution points to upgrade Greedy Hand to legendary level. The upgrade was insane, boosting the bonus loot from 3 to 5 pieces and giving him this sick new passive greed space, which added 100 extra inventory slots. He used his new skill on the boss's corpse, scooping up a mountain of loot. Then he dropped his remaining points to level up all of his core skills to epic tier, including the now god tier Blossoming Curse, which could now absorb non-tradable lifespan orbs from defeated enemies. After getting the scoop from his informant that Dongfang Xian was throwing a family gathering, he sold a massive batch of gear to Wang Mang's team for a hefty sum before teleporting back to the starter village. He synced his new level and job advancement to reality, then spent a ton in tradable lifespan to pull all of his upgraded skills and equipment. His real-world power was now almost as lit as his in-game character. After snagging his stuff with his fresh greedy hand storage, he bounced from his old crib. He knew it was totally unsafe. He rolled up to the Jianin restaurant where the Dongfang fam was throwing down, celebrating their new power and scheming to catch Shadow. unseen. Our dude slipped past their armed security and called up his loyal sidekick, telling it to leave no one breathing. The monster wrecked the banquet hall, its claws and ghostly flames obliterating the strapped but helpless humans. Dongfang Xian, freaking out, tried to bail out and log back into the game, but he ran right into the MC himself. The MC took him and the whole fam out, then hit him with his legendary blossoming curse on the bodies, grabbing an insane 2,700 days of tradable lifespan and 482 years of non-tradable life from a single haul. The MC watched as the chaos of his rampage played out. The spot was totally cleaned up by his legendary blossoming curse skill. No bodies or blood, left just a room full of bullet holes. The cops showed up to find a spotless crime scene with no victims, leaving the investigators scratching their heads about the entire Dongfang family just vanishing. After wiping out his first major threat, the MC shifted his focus to the next target, Kaiyan Shishi, who was chilling in Madu. Needing a faster way to cover the 300 kilometers, he decided to scoop up a mount in the game. He logged back in and got hit up by a news crew with some epic news. Geo Hai, their lucky charm, had literally stumbled into a tomb entrance while dodging monsters. The MC, knowing the girl had a knack for finding hidden stuff, grabbed the coordinates and dashed to the spot, a huge well leading down into the earth. Inside the Tomb of Resentment, he got hit right away by the Guardian, a level 12 gold tier vengeful ghost. He knew its physical hits were killer, capable of one-shotting him, but he was ready. He turned on Graceful Release and unleashed a perfectly timed instant shadow slash mixed with slit throat, dealing major damage. The Ghost Furious hit back with a surprise corpse explosion as it went down. A sneaky trap. The MC only survived thanks to his Ghost Shadow Blur dodge activation. He looted the body, snagging 2 platinum tier items, the Dark Knight Ring Blade skill book and the Resentment leather armor. He jumped on the new skill, an AoE magic attack that was totally perfect for his spirit-focused shadow build, and leveled it up to epic tier, cranking up its range and damage big time. He then suited up in the new armor, a serious defensive boost, and marveled at his luck, hoping to find a mount deeper in the tomb. Meanwhile, back in the starting village, Kin Xyo's latest squad wiped out again, and her teammates finally snapped, blaming her for all their fails and ditching her. Desperate and with her lifespan fading, she scrolled through her list of ex-fans looking for someone to carry her, but got brutally rejected by everyone. Each dude clowned her for her arrogance and the mess she made. Feeling totally alone with just 2.5 years of tradable life left, a terrifying thought hit her. The one person who never ditched her was the bro she had so casually tossed aside, Chin Fang. Thinking he'd definitely forgive her, she headed to his apartment, planning to fake being cool long enough to get back on her feet before ditching him again. She knocked, called out sweetly, then pounded on the door in anger when he didn't answer, only to discover the door was unlocked and his place was totally empty. He had dipped, leaving no trace behind. Utterly defeated, she collapsed, realizing he was really gone. Back in the Tomb of Resentment, the MC hit the final chamber and opened the main coffin, unleashing the final boss. It was a deadly miasma, a gold-tier boss that was totally immune to physical attacks. He remembered a tale from his past life about how this boss had been unleashed and caused major chaos with its possession ability. However, armed with his new magic skill, Dark Knight Ring Blade, he made quick work of the ghostly beast, taking it down with ease. Even though the loot was only gold tier, he flexed his legendary greedy hand and pulled a rare item from the body, a mount bell. To his excitement, it summoned a Ghost Night Wolf, one of the fastest early game mounts, which also came with its own stealth ability and some killer combat skills. With his new buddy, he headed for the Jangai Arena, a massive multi-level grind factory. He and his wolf tore through the monster hordes inside, moving like a heart of shadow and phantom claws. Elsewhere in the ruins, a used team finally took down a gold tier boss, but the win felt super empty. Manalian, the cocky son of a bureau head, dissed the MC's victories, saying he was just a sneaky assassin hiding in the dark, while he himself stood for all that was good. And you totally defended the MC, pointing out his unparalleled solo wins and reminding Malong that their current success was grounded in the gear and intel Shadow had dropped. Their argument got interrupted when they found the drops from their boss kill a lame haul of silver and gold items that were nothing compared to the platinum gear the MC tossed around like it was nothing. Meanwhile, Wang Mang was sweating over the MC's growing rep in the foes he was making, especially after the mysterious vanish of the Dongfang fam. The MC casually sold off the platinum gear. Meanwhile, Wang Mang was stressing about the MC's rising fame and the enemies he was making, especially after the mysterious vanishing act of the Dongfang family. A lot of peeps were already throwing shade at Shadow for this mess, but she straight up said that even if the main character was guilty, she'd have his back and clean up whatever went down, seeing how crucial he was for their nation's survival. As her crew cleaned out the arena, they noticed it was super empty, just a bunch of monster bodies and loot orbs everywhere, showing that the MC had totally been there. Then she spotted him in the distance cruising on his new Ghost Nightwolf ride and hollered at him. He traded all the loot he just snagged, plus Xyo himself for the tomb's location, which made the jealous Manalang seethe in the background. The MC kept grinding, wiping the whole Coliseum arena clean, and leveling up his skills like a boss with all those evolution points. He pushed Bestow of Mercy to Mythic Tier, making every swing hit like a knockout, and his Liar's Pendant gave him a permanent boost, hitting an undetectable level 4 for stealth. Just as he was vibing with his new powers, the Steel Saintess, a powerful sanctuary guardian, popped up nearby, and he saw his old rival from back in the day, Chen Wuming, leading the charge against it. Chen Wuming, a Templar Knight and the big dog of the Shady Knight Sanctum Guild, had gone head-to-head with MC for 9 long years without a clear winner, spotting his old nemesis again. The MC thought it was the perfect moment to settle scores. He swooped in on Chen Wuming's guild, annihilating them with his dark night ring blade and throwing blossoming curse on their corpses, which totally blew Chen Wuming's mind and had him raging. The MC taunted him, saying he doesn't mess with beef, before wiping out the rest of Chen's crew and leaving him flat on his face. Among the fallen was Kin Xyo, who had joined the guild as basically a black slave. Her lifespan was so low that the curse barely drained any from her. The MC, feeling nothing but disdain for her fate, turned his focus back to the Steel Saintess. The first phase of the boss was easy peasy, and he took it down to half health in no time, triggering the second phase where it woke a sealed demon and got a crazy damage reflection ability. The MC was about to use a bunch of onlookers as cannon fodder when another player, the streamer named Safety First, jumped in to take on the boss. Safety First was a soul warrior, relying on those perfectly timed dodges to power up his attacks. He put on a sick show, rolling through the boss's hits and landing some hardest counterstrikes. But that flashy swordplay total downfall. The multi-hit move set off the boss's damage reflection like crazy, taking him down in a snap, with the other players too shook to engage. The MC realized he had to man up and face the boss head-on, even though his own damage over time skills would trigger the deadly reflection too. As the Steel Saintess started backing off to the church sanctum to heal, the MC knew he had to stop it. While the onlookers debated over his insane power and speculated about his level 4 stealth, he activated his 10-layer blacklight shield, giving him a massive edge against the boss's reflection damage. He unleashed Instant Shadow / his shield, soaking up 3 reflected hits, while the other 6 strikes landed during the boss's attack animation, a crucial moment where it couldn't reflect. He barely made it out, his shield cracking from the boss's counterattack just as he pulled back, a total nail-biter. Before the stunned crowd could even blink, he swiped the lifespan orb dropped by the defeated Safety First and used Blossoming Curse on another player who tried to jack his loot, then dipped. He chilled for a hot minute, waiting for his black light shield to cool down. Then he played it smart, repeating that risky move, slowly picking away at the boss's health until he finally got to deal the knockout punch. After taking down the Titanium Tier boss, he looted its remains with his Mythic Tier greedy hand, snagging a piece of Emerald grade gear and a skill book. The Armor Black Flames gift came with a dope defense shredding debuff, and the Skill Assassin's Intuition was just what he needed to counter any sneaky moves. He instantly evolved, both maxing out the debuff potential of his new gear and leveling up his anti-stealth to 5, making him basically invisible and able to spot any foes. Jian Yu, seeing the major strategic value of such a base, totally agreed to hit up her bosses about it. She quickly hired him for another mission to deal with a squad of 7 reviving gold-tier bosses in Dark Moon Town, a headache her own troops couldn't fix. The MC, suspecting the hand of an ancient god slayed a wicked powerful artifact, accepted the 10-year lifespan payment and poofed away. In Dark Moon Town, he found Chu Yan's fam getting harassed by Purse and jumped in, slaughtering the attackers like it was nothing and saving them. He recognized Chu Yan's mom and dad, who led the charitable Dreamsen River Guild back in his old life, and was stoked to see them thriving, a small win in this new timeline. After that, he headed to the coordinates she gave him, spotting the 7 regenerating bosses. Using his summoned devout follower as a test, he confirmed they were just a bunch of beefy, brunt strength, no special moves. Then he pulled out his epic tier, Dark Nightring Blade, and obliterated them all at once, stopping their revival mechanic. When they fell, a massive fleshy boss covered in ancient god script popped out, which the MC recognized and translated to the ancient god of disaster utopia. He cracked the code, waiting for the Black's light shield to recharge. Then he pulled off the risky move again, slowly but surely wearing down the boss's health until he finally hit it with the final blow. With the Titanium Tier boss crushed, he looted its body using his Mythic Tier greedy hand, scoring some Emerald grade gear and a skill book. The Armor Black Flames gift packed a serious defense shredding debuff, and the Skill Assassin's Intuition was just what he needed for anti-stealth. He maxed both of them out, ramping up his new gear's debuff power and leveling up his anti-stealth to level 5, making him practically invisible and giving him the power to see any enemy. Jian Yu, recognizing how valuable a base like that was, quickly agreed to let her higher-ups know. Then she hired him for another gig to take care of a crew of 7 gold-tier bosses coming back to life in Dark Moon Town, a problem her own people couldn't handle. The MC, suspecting an ancient god slate was at play, snagged the 10-year lifespan payday and teleported out. In Dark Moon Town, he caught Chu Yan's fam getting harassed by Purrs and jumped in, wiping the attackers like it was nothing and saving them. He recognized Chu Yan's parents' heads of the charitable Dream Send River Guild from his past life and was stoked to see them thriving, just a little positive change in this new timeline. Then he rolled over to the coordinates he gave, spotting the 7 bosses respawning. Using his devout follower as a scout, he made sure they didn't have any special moves beyond raw power. Then he whipped out his epic tier, Dark Knight Ringblade, and wiped them all out at once, blocking their revival shenanigans. Taking them down revealed a massive squishy boss covered in ancient god text, which the MC recognized and translated as Ancient God of Disaster Utopia. He figured out the riddle. Smashing those symbols on the boss's body in the right order to kick off the next level, which meant taking out those summoned monsters hanging by their coffins. He totally crushed that last phase, snagging the Ancient God Slate of Disaster, a dope artifact that could slap some sick buffs and debuffs on his gear. He wasted no time using it on his emerald armor, stacking up those debuff charges like crazy for just a minor stat drop. With his new swag, he upgraded Instant Shadow Slash to legendary status, giving him a sweet shield that stacked with every hit, and then he bounced over to Madu to finally confront Kai and Shishi. In the ruins of the Magic City, he spotted Kai and Shishi and her crew of foreign players flexing on the weaker Daxia peeps, with their racist trash talk bouncing off the walls. Once they had their fill and logged off for some IRL fun, the MC followed him. He sold the Church Sanctum key to a used team for 2,000 years of lifespan. Then he logged out fully decked out with all his in-game power. In a Mu hotel, he got jumped by some thugs who had taken over the joint, but he wiped him out with a flick of his wrist, busting out the Dark Knight Ringblade in the real world for the first time. He tracked down Cayenne Shishi, who was scheming with a mole inside the government forces, a dude named Q Hannon, to test if the MC was legit. He showed up at their staged showdown, and to Cayenne Shishi's surprise, wrecked the government forces, including the mole with a single epic AoE move. He then coolly introduced himself to the jaw-dropped lady. "What's up, Spade Day? I'm Shadow." The MC stood in front of a stunned Cayenne Shishi, his vibe radiating mad power, while her foreign buddies gawked at the insane damage numbers popping up over the fallen players. One of them, struggling with the local lingo, tried to say hi to the MC, but it came out as some bad words, making him shoot a cold look. The MC, playing dumb, apologized for the mix-up, before casually suggesting they stick to Daxia to avoid any more mess, a clear threat. He then got straight to the point, demanding the head of Chinfeng like they agreed. Cayenne Shishi, now totally into his power, and vibe skipped the proof and closed the deal, sending him the remaining 1,500 days of lifespan. She hit him up, proposing a long-term gig involving her body, but the MC just said he was out. Not phased, she invited him to a yacht at the port that night to chat about the next hit, promising rewards way bigger than before. The MC said sure, and as he left, he overheard government players talking about how wild this all was, confirming their mole had been spot on about Shadow teaming up with their enemy. That evening, the MC rolled up to the yacht they set up. Cayenne Shishi's guards peeped his entrance. They led him to the deck where she was waiting, looking all sultry, serving him a glass of wine. Ignoring her flirty games, he jumped right in, asking who the next target was. She laughed, calling him a buzzkill before downing her drink and inching closer, her plan kinda obvious. Out of nowhere, she lunged, pushing him against the railing, her hands roaming as she complimented his bod. The wine she poured had some heavy stuff mixed in. As it kicked in, she felt a crazy heat surge through her, thinking she had him totally under her spell. But instead of feeling the vibes, all she felt was fire as her crystal pendant activated, blocking a deadly hit just as her clothes went up in flames, revealing the MC Kin Fang standing tall, with a summoned devout follower right behind him. She stared in shock, realizing the dude she wanted to kill Fang was actually Kin Fang himself, the legendary Shadow. In a desperate move to save her skin, she started begging, offering to be his servant, but the MC was totally unbothered. He casually inquired about her 5 foreign buddies, and when she couldn't spill, he took her out, soaking up her whopping 659 years of tradable lifespan before using her phone to snitch on her murder to the cops, setting up his next target perfectly. The mole Q Honan showed up with his crew using a special skill on Cayenne Shishi's body to track down her killer. They started shooting up the spot, but the MC was already ready, using his summoned follower as bait. He then slipped from the shadows and took out Q Hona, exposing himself as the insider to the shocked investigators before they could even process it. One of the investigators, Ling King, found the shady evidence on the phones of both victims, proving the MC was right and showing he had set everything up to spill the beans on the traitors. Overwhelmed with respect and a bit scared, she apologized to the MC for her team's aggressive moves, to which he just said he had settled the score before vanishing, leaving her to think about his mysterious words and her unexpected survival. Back in the game, Kin Xyo was once again the reason for her party getting wrecked, her screw-ups pushing her team to the brink of going off on her physically. She later woke up in the respawn zone only to get taken out again by an invisible force. A platinum boss known as the Headless Assassin that her own messed up healing spell had drawn to her, now camping her spawn spot. Meanwhile, the MC's informant, who had seen her mom get taken out by Pete Kurz, cooked up a sneaky plan for revenge against the MC's enemies. Her kid, not old enough to jump into the game, yet pitched a plan to lure. So there's this plot where someone's trying to blow up a fireworks factory to take out the main character in a huge explosion. Meanwhile, the MC is totally vibing, not even aware of the danger coming his way, because he's just enjoying all the sweet rewards he got from his hard work. He's off chilling on some remote island hideout. Then Inu hits him up spilling the tea about this headless assassin who's been wrecking players in the ruins of Magic City. The dude's got mad stealth, making it super tough for anyone to fight back. The MC sees a chance to flex his skills and takes the gig. When he gets there, he finds this overconfident streamer who calls himself Safety First, trying to take on the boss solo. This streamer is all about the show, but his dodges are hella awkward and he almost bites the dust until a banana peel magically lands in his path and saves him. The MC steps in, revealing he's the one who tossed the peel, and he easily takes out one of the assassin's 5 clones, showing what the boss is all about. Then he meets the Knight Sanctum Guild, including Kin Xyo, who's been shunned for making the boss go wild. The MC doesn't care about her whiny pleas for help and just uses this instant shadow slash to wipe out the rest of the clones and the real boss in one epic move. Once again, everyone's left in total shock. He then invites Wang Mang and a few others to this super secret spot called the Tower of Divine Authority, a hidden challenge he knows from his past life. He warns them that the NPCs in there have a thing against Chick's total deception to keep Inu out and keep his secrets safe. He leads the squad to the tower knowing the NPC would ramp up the challenge based on how strong they think his crew is, so he downplays his own skills to secure an easier ride. The challenge kicks off, and the NPC summons some level 20 gold-tier obsidian skullcracker golem. The MC stays chill, directing his underleveled crew, having Wang Mang take the first hit, while the rest go in for the attack. When the golem gets angry, he jumps in himself. Pulling off his Shadow Blade skill to take away its buff with one precise move, he keeps guiding them, flexing his deep knowledge of the game mechanics and easily leading them through the boss's phases until they finally take it down. The NPC, clearly impressed, congratulates them for being the first to beat his trial and offers them this legendary Book of Divine Endowment in exchange for some of their lifespan. The MC, Kinfang, finds himself and his crew in a tricky spot with a weird 6-fingered NPC named Wickley, after a careless comment from one of his teammates unleashes a deadly curse. Unfazed, the MC explains that these powerful beings are from alternate timelines and are stuck trading these divine gift books which can actually churn out real-world goodies for player lifespan. While his crew is super stoked cashing in their life force for stuff from food to a sick robotic maid, the MC's got his eyes on the big prize, the global first clear of the Tower of Divine Authority on its highest difficulty. Wickley laughs at his ambitions and summons a golem that's ridiculously boosted with a 500% stat increase. But the MC, recalling a past life where he faced way crazier odds, just preps his new weapon for a test run. What happens next is pure magic, a masterclass in assassination. He's zipping around, landing critical hits that leave his crew jaw-dropped and the golem wrecked in mere seconds. The system blows up with announcements of his insane achievement, making Wickley rage and banish them all. Back in the real world, the MC uses his new powers to deck out a swanky apartment with that robotic maid. Meanwhile, some detective starts to get sus about his activities. Jumping back into the game, the MC scores a new guild sanctuary and stumbles upon another hidden class assassin, Ghostshade, who's getting bothered by some thugs. He wipes them out without breaking a sweat, but now the girl's mad at him for saving her. Her cool chain attacks catch his attention, but they're no match for his next-level stealth skills. He takes her down smoothly and finds out her sad backstory linked to the Dongfang family, a clan he's already taken out. She begs him for help with her revenge plot, even offering to be his slave. He turns her down on killing her target, but agrees to help her level up enough to do it herself, inviting her to join his one-man guild and guiding her on the path to advancement as she tackles the thugs again, whose defeat is comically quick. After the MC officially claims the territory, he goes ahead and solos the Sanctuary's Guardian, bumping his class up to Tier 2 and snagging a game-changing permanent stealth ability. Now he's really a phantom. He gets a call from Inu about another mysterious ruin that only the Fated One can access. Naturally, that's him, so he gets teleported to a fresh challenge, needing to defend a fragile crystal from waves of monsters in the Cavern of Icetide. He sets up the battlefield like a pro, with upgraded traps turning that monster-infested hallway into a total kill zone, only to realize the challenge is tougher than he thought. When some ranged attackers start popping up in the shadows, he catches Ghostshade's tracking chains with ease, holding them in one hand with a curious look on his face. He then yanks hard, yanking her off her feet, and leaving her dangling upside down by her own weapon. Her shock quickly shifts to annoyed surprise. With everything on lock, he introduces himself as Shadow and explains he's not her enemy, suggesting she might want to listen to him now. He then digs into info about Dongfang Yu, confirming her ties to the Zhanggai City Dongfang family, a fish that somehow slipped through his fingers. Ghostshade is left stunned, realizing that the big shot, game-changing permanent stealth ability, now Now a true phantom, he gets a call from his buddy Inu about another shady ruin, one that only the Fated One can enter. Duh. The MC is that dude, and gets teleported to a fresh challenge defending a fragile crystal from waves of monsters in the cavern of the Ice Tide. He skillfully preps the battlefield with his upgraded traps, turning the monster-filled hallway into a kill zone, only to realize that the challenge is a bit trickier than he first thought. When ranged attackers pop up in the dark, he smoothly catches Ghost Shade's tracking chains, holding them in his hand while looking curious. Then he yanks hard, pulling her off her feet and leaving her hanging upside down by her own weapon, her shock flipping to indignant surprise. With everything under control, he coolly introduces himself as Shadow and makes it clear he ain't her enemy, suggesting she can listen up now. He asks about Dongfang Yu, confirming her ties to the Jianggai City Dongfang fam, a fish that apparently slipped through his fingers. Ghost Shade is blown away, realizing who the powerful figure is. She's facing the one who wiped out the whole Dongfang clan. Her vibe shifts from super tense to kinda hopeful, as she says the enemy of her enemy is her homie, and they can team up. The MC is down to chat, but first, he's gotta know why she's so bent on taking out Dongfang Yu. Ghost Shade's eyes get all watery as she spills her heartbreaking story. Back in the day, Dongfang Yu killed her mom in a drunk driving accident and used his family's clout to get off scot-free. Then her dad gathered the proof he needed to take Dongfang Yu down, only to end up dead in a river. Officially, they said it was a suicide. Feeling lost and alone, Ghost Shade almost ended it all, but then this crazy game dropped, giving her a shot at a new life. Her first move in the game, taking down Dongfang Yu. But since a player needs to be totally out of lives for a real death, Dongfang Yu just respawned and kept sending players after her non-stop. She wraps up her story by begging Brother Shadow to help her get revenge. Even though she's desperate, she offers to be his ride-or-die hand over all her gear and even be his slave. The MC keeps it real and says no thanks. He stands firm, saying he's not going to help her off her target. As despair hits her hard, he clears it up. This is her revenge, and only she can finish it. But until she's tough enough, he'll lend a hand. Hope flickers back in her eyes as she asks how he plans to help. His answer, he sends her a guild invite for his fresh guild shadow, and she jumps on it, becoming the second recruit. He tells her mission now is to level up her class. How she pulls it off is on her, and he warns that if she can't handle that, she should just forget about revenge. With that, he dips, thinking that with some guidance, the blade of the Netherworld class could be super OP. The MC heads into the depths of the Spectre Academy to face off against its boss, the mutated witch Stana. During the first phase, this boss becomes untouchable by physical hits, making him rely on his elemental powers. He fires up his speed buffs and starts spamming Shadow Blade, turning himself into a mobile Gatling gun that demolishes the boss's health. In the second phase, Witch's extra heads activate launching chaotic area attacks, but the MC shouts that the disco party's over and wraps things up fast. He scores some loot experience and the key to the hideout. But the big win, he's finally up for his class advancement. He jumps on it, leveling his Shadow class from Tier 1 to Tier 2. The upgrade triples his class bonuses, and most importantly, it gives him a new passive. His attacks no longer give him away, turning him into a total invisible assassin. Just a few moments before Ghost Shade was busted by the same thugs from the Asura Hall Guild. They laugh at her for coming back after getting ready this time. But as they close in, she hits them with Shadow Dive and throws a flare grenade to mess with their heads. One of the thugs grabs her while she's trying to use a poison item to bail, bragging that she's got no chance. His victory is real short. A system message suddenly drops announcing that the Spectre Academy is now owned by the Shadow Guild, and a barrier goes up, branding them as intruders. A crazy cleansing light swallows them, and they vaporize in an instant, leaving Ghost Shade in total shock. Realizing the MC had taken down the Guardian and snagged the sanctuary while they were busy fighting, the MC checks out his loot from the witch, which includes a wicked ring and a skill book for a venomous trap before spending his evolution points to bump up his backstab boost passive to legendary. The new epic skill makes all his damage count as a backstab when he's in stealth. It's perfection with his new invisibility. His upgrade gets interrupted by a message from Anu, who found some new ruins in Jianggai City with a teleport orb that only accepts the Fated One. The MC is down to check it out, zipping between the two cities thanks to his newly linked guild spots. He shows up and playfully shocks Anu, who tells him she found the entrance to the ruins after doing a faceplant off a cliff. After giving her a quick warning to be more careful with her lifespan, he learns about her team's smart way of farming monsters to refill their non-tradable life. She takes him to the teleport orb, which confirms she's not the Fated One. The MC steps up, and when he touches it, the orb lights up bright, and they both vanish. He ends up in the cavern of the Ice Tide, his job to protect a central crystal from waves of monsters. Knowing that failing means he's locked out for good, he dumps all his leftover evolution points to level up his venomous trap to epic rarity. The traps now cover a wider area and hit harder, so he places them to cover the whole entrance, creating a perfect kill zone. As the first wave of melee monsters rushes in, they hit the traps and get wiped out by his guaranteed backstab damage from stealth. The MC can't help but smirk at how easy this Defend Athena challenge is, but his confidence takes a hit when he spots a new danger lurking in the dark, a bunch of glowing red eyes from the ranged mobs. Meanwhile, in the game world, Dongfang Yu, aka Phoenix Dance 9, Heavens calls out the leader of the Asura Hall Guild, feeling they've totally ditched their contract to hunt Ghost Shade, the guild leader. But his confidence gets a slight check when he spots a fresh threat coming from the dark, a cluster of glowing red eyes belonging to ranged mobs. Elsewhere in the game world, Dongfang Yu, going by the name Phoenix Dance 9 Heavens, is confronting the head of the Asura Hall Guild for ditching their contract to hunt Ghost Shade. The guild leader explains that since Ghost Shades rolled with the Shadow Guild, things are way too spicy for them to handle. But Dongfang Yu isn't having it, throwing some serious shade at him and asking if he really thinks Shadow's scarier than her. She throws down a threat about his real-life safety, flexing the fact that she's got all his personal deets, which finally sets him off. Fueled by her constant jabs, he shouts that even if he can't mess with Shadow, he can definitely take her out and instantly wrecks her with a flurry of hits. In the real world, Dongfang Yu is having a major freakout, demanding her hubby from the powerful Chu Fam to lock up the Asura Hall crew for their rebellious antics. Her hubby stays cool, assuring her he's already got a plan cooking. He set up the Black Dragon Hall to stir up trouble for Shadow. Calmed a little but still fuming, Dongfang Yu swears she's going to take down every last one of her foes and get revenge for the Dongfang clan back in the Ice-Tide Cave. The MC wipes out the last of the pesky ranged monsters. His Shadow Blade skill resets every time he hits a weak spot, letting him unleash an endless wave of attacks. The mission wraps up, and an epic treasure chest blazes into existence right in front of him. When he cracks it open, he gets hit with a dazzling golden light, and a stunning ethereal chick shows up chatting in some ancient god language. Even though he can't grasp the words, the power of his Eye of Judgment lets him get the vibe, as she's all, "Yo, you're the inheritor of the Judgment power." The Divine Lady introduces herself as a Sahise Judgment Envoy and vows to roll with him and watch him rise. She hands him a gift, Asa's Summoning Bell, a dope artifact that lets him summon her at certain levels for special challenges. If he nails all three, she'll crash at his hideout and hook him up with a 6-skill upgrade function. Asahi's then throws down a one-time free chance to bump any one of his skills up to his current level. The MC weighs his options, knowing that a skill's strength is about more than just how fancy it is, which his infinite evolution talent can already jack up, but also about its level needs. Snagging a golden chance to boost a rare high-tier skill, he goes for his mythical level ability, Graceful Release, and watches as it jumps from level 10 to 16, boosting its damage like crazy. With her gift handed over, Asahi's fades out, leaving behind a sparkly teleport gate. Before he bounces, the MC spots something else in the chest, an epic grade leg. Armor called Bafish's equivalent Exchange Pack. This armor's got a wild special skill, allowing him to trade in one piece of gear or a skill book up to epic grade to randomly score another of the same level and grade for his class. The MC is hyped, realizing this item is a total game changer that'll let him flip his random gear into assassin-specific stuff. He steps through the portal and pops back outside, where Nu's been chilling for him for over an hour. Feeling grateful for her loyalty, he gives her a platinum-grade magic shield skill book that he snagged from the ruins chest. The scene shifts to the Night Sanctuary Guild, who are throwing down a party for capturing their first hideout. They're showering mad props on a young woman named Xyo who found the spot. She gives a super emotional and kinda awkward speech thanking everyone from her parents to her haters for motivating her. When her guild leader asks how she found the hideout, she says she saw it in a dream. The guild leader gets a kick out of her story, rewarding her with a year added to her lifespan and hyping her to keep having those profitable dreams. Later, Zoyu's poking around this creepy rundown building looking for a platinum-grade hideout she also dreamt of. Little does she know, 3 other players are tailing her, thinking her dreams are just a cover-up for something shady. Her search gets wrecked by a nasty soul-sucking hag suddenly showing up, making her faint from pure terror. The stalkers are frozen in shock as the monster drains the entire lifespan of one of their crew members before zeroing in on the other 2 who get taken out in no time. Zuyu wakes up from her faint, and before she knows it, the floor gives way beneath her, dropping her right in front of the hidden entrance to the platinum-grade hideout. She erupts with joy and contacts her guild leader, who tells her to hold tight for reinforcements. Her relief is short-lived when the soul-sucking hag pops back in its creepy footsteps, echoing through the silence. Gritting her teeth, the hidden class life sacrifice priest gears up to fight for her life. She lets loose an attack with venomous vines and a toxic poison mist, managing to hit the slow-moving monster, but just when she thinks she's won, she realizes her own poison's filling the tiny space and she's starting to choke. In a moment of desperate clarity, she uses a skill on herself which leads to her instant death and respawning back at the guild's main hideout. She reports to her guild leader, who's initially tripping out, not getting how she survived a run-in with that crazy soul-sucking hag, a critter known for draining lifespan totally. When she spills that she took herself out to escape, he freaks out in praise. How she totally dodged a soul-sucking hag, a creepy monster that ghosted lives. When she spills the tea on taking herself out to escape, he can't help but hype her up, calling her a genius for finding the only way to counter that monster's deadly power. The guild gathers at the new hideout, and after a hyped speech, they find the entrance is a massive sealed stone gate. They catch on super quick that the Immo gate is basically the hideout's bodyguard, and they're ready to throw down with it. That's when the MC gets a pop-up saying, his crib. The soul cleansing grounds is getting wrecked. Seeing how dang slowly the gate's health is dropping, he decides to hop on his wolf instead of wasting a sick teleport charge. On his way, he spots a player getting bullied by Night Sanctuary guild peeps. He recognizes the poor dude as Kin Xyo, a chill coworker from his real-life gig. Right when the bullies are about to throw hands, they suddenly freeze up like popsicles. Kin Xyo catches a glimpse of some fierce eyes before the dude bounces, leaving the bullies dropping dead like flies. She's all stunned, wondering if she peeped a shadow and why those fierce eyes remind her so much of Kin Fang's. The MC rolls up to his hideout to a total hero's welcome from the guild members he saved earlier, now treating him like a righteous legend. He cuts straight to the chase, asking their boss, Han Fang, about the hideout they're hitting, then casually drops the bomb that it's actually his. Han Fang's jaw drops because he knows a player can only roll with one hideout, but the MC clears it up, saying a guild can have one too, and he's got both. The guild leader is so shook to realize they've been trashing their idol's turf, he faints right there. The MC demands a hefty 500 years of lifespan as a payback for the damage. When the guild leader wakes up, he's instantly mad at Xyo, blaming her for this mess. All guilty, and stuffed Xyo steps up ready to take all the heat and even offers to be the MC's servant for life if he lets her guild off the hook. The guild boss, Chen Wuming, glares at her and asks the MC if he thinks she's worth 500 years, his voice dripping with sarcasm. The rest of the crew jumps on her too, calling her a jinx. The MC, totally over it, rewrites his terms. 100 years of lifespan up front, and the other 400 years in blood. He wants every guild member with slaughterer status delivered to him one head every year. The guild boss is like, you got it, and the MC goes to town executing 400 of their PK players, clearing his slaughterer status in the process. As a cherry on top, he tasks the Night Sanctuary Guild with guarding the hideout so they won't mess things up again. But just when everything seems chill, he gets another urgent alert. His other hideout, the Wraith Academy, is also under attack. He instantly pops his daily war teleport to bail to the Magic City ruins. Back at the soul cleansing grounds, the Night Sanctuary guild leader spitefully tells Xyo to stay behind as punishment and hold down the fort alone. Meanwhile, at the Wraith Academy, a gang called the Black Dragon Palace is smashing away at the hideout's barrier. The MC shows up all stealthy, trying to remember why he's got beef with these guys, but coming up empty. The attackers unleash a killer combo spell, a massive demonic dragon slamming into the barrier. The MC figures they must be mercs and wonders who among his living enemies got them to roll out. From the shadows, he counters with a massive black flame dragon that roars like a boss. Out of nowhere, a weird hand-drawn meteor drops from the sky. The attack barely scratches the barrier, and the Black Dragon Palace's leader just smirks, then suddenly collapses dead, without a single hit landing. A pink-haired chick in the attacking crew instantly realizes there's an invisible shadow lurking. She spots the art-style attacks, knowing it's the signature of the hidden class, Soul Painter. This Soul Painter, Zhang Jin Xuan, politely calls out to the senior shadow, asking for permission to crash into his hideout to snag an item for her class upgrade, saying she'll pay for that privilege. The MC recognizes her and her famous streamer grandpa Old Chang from his past life, a smirk tugging at his lips since he used to be a fan of their streams. He clears his throat and grants her wish, causing the huge hideout gate to swing wide. Zhang Jin Xuan, the Soul Painter, steps into the Wraith Academy and directly addresses the invisible MC, asking what he wants from her guild. She explains that for her class upgrade, she needs some special materials only found here, and references a past deal when the MC sold a hideout for a nice chunk of change, offering to buy the Wraith Academy from him. The MC is intrigued by how fast the Skydome Guild stacked up lifespan, but nicely declines her offer to sell. Not backing down, Zhang Jin Xuan shifts gears, proposing to rent the first floor for 3 years at the cost of 500 years of lifespan. The MC sees through her hustle, realizing her real aim isn't only class access, which he already offered, but trying to form a solid bond with him and his power. To make it sweeter, she ups the ante. Her guild Sky Dome will wipe the Black Dragon Palace Guild that attacked earlier, basically declaring war on them for him. Impressed by her grit and boldness, especially being so young, the MC agrees to the deal, making her super happy. After she splits, the MC takes a sec to appreciate her fiery personality before refocusing on his Bafish's equivalent exchange pact, which just finished its cooldown. He activates the pact, sacrificing a training manual and receiving an vibe before flipping back to his Bafish's equivalent exchange pact, which just recharged. He rolls with the pact, giving up a training manual and snagging an emerald grade limit break skill called Crimson Fang. This 6 single target hit not only wrecks enemies, but also snacks on their health. It's a total game changer. For his skill set, he doesn't waste time leveling it up to legendary and throws the rest into his Depths of Darkness, passive making it mythic and cutting down lifespan drain while sneaky, which is dope for hitting up tough zones. Now, sitting pretty at level 17, he grabs a fresh full set of new emerald gear from the exchange pack. Lifespan drain is totally chill, while sneaking around awesome for checking out those super tough rage zones. Now, at level 17, he's rocking a full set of fresh emerald gear he scored from the exchange pack, boosting his stats like crazy. He kinda cringes at how the gear looks though, before sliding back into his iconic Shadow class skin. Meanwhile, in the real world, Dongfang Yu is setting up a trap, reeling in 4 players, selling their lifespan to her secret mansion, under the pretense of a sweet deal. She coldly tells them to drop their lifespan as these glowing orbs on the floor, and when they stall, she shows her true colors. A bunch of hidden class players pop out of nowhere surrounding the sellers. The leader of the sellers peeps one as an insect manipulator and realizes they've walked right into the danger zone, but it's too late. A wild fight breaks out. One of Dongfang Yu's goons, a tank rocking a platinum grade shield, holds the front, while another, a gunslinger, rains down a storm of bullets from his hands. Dongfang Yu is living it up on the sidelines, telling her crew to grab the sellers, alive to chainsaw their lifespan for her kid. The seller's boss exposes his own hidden class plague source and snatches one of the insect manipulator's speedy drones like a boss, bragging about setting up a detection barrier. But his hype train derails fast. The gunslinger nails him with a sick sonic boom, and the plague source user, probably too low level, gets wrecked in an instant by the shockwave. The last seller, left a support player, is easily taken down. Seeing the whole thing from the start, the last seller, a support player, is easily subdued. Dongfang Yu's bodyguard reports that 2 are down and 2 are alive, nailing the 50% promise she made. He also mentions flooring an invisible teammate with a kick, but the survivor insists they didn't have any invisible homies, claiming they were just a random seller squad. The MC, meanwhile, rolls up into the Magic Oblique Tower, another platinum drop zone in Magic City. He finds the entrance wide open and the inside a massive library-like maze already cleared out. He remembers that this hideout has a sealed princess and knows how to teleport right to the top floor. Snatching a hilariously titled book off the shelf, he gets to the top and sees the guild Fake Heavy Industries going all out in a chaotic showdown with the hideout's boss, the Despair Princess. He spots their leader, Huang Huifan, an illusionist whose portal skill lets her crew use a wicked attrition tactic, dropping a portal entrance at the respawn spot and the exit next to the boss, letting fallen homies hop back in the fight instantly. But the MC knows this tactic's useless against the Despair Princess, who slurps up lifespan 100 times faster than regular monsters, getting stronger with every kill. He watches as the princess is about to hit emerald grade, a point where the guild's totally doomed. He steps up to Huang Huifan, offering to take down the boss for 10,000 years of lifespan, and any assassin class drops her hot-headed kid. Huang Ziking laughs at the offer, but the MC just brushes him off and wrecks their portal, saying they'll get wise soon. Just like he thought, the boss lights up, signaling its glow-up. At that moment, the MC gets a message from Ghost Shade. She's tracked down Dongfang Yu. He sets up to meet her at the Graveyard of Bones, his mind now juggling 2 top-tier targets. He meets up with Ghost Shade, who spills about the strong class holder guarding Dongfang Yu, a quick jacked fighter who regenerates fast and rolls with a 10-meter ring of smoke that sniffs out stealth. The MC straight up knows the class is Plague Source, a rare hidden class that can't stand mental corrosion. He tells her that Ghost Shade's own class, Blade of the Netherworld, will evolve into Wraith of the Netherworld at Tier 2, which will be a perfect counter. He tells her to grind hard at the Graveyard of Bones, a gnarly but rewarding spot to level up and get her class upgrade quick, while he shows her how to take out the elite monsters there. She catches a glimpse of his intense killing vibe when revenge comes up. Somewhere in the Zhanggai city ruins, a worn-out teammate, Xiao He, is strolling around when she stumbles upon this bomb fruit that gives XP when she munches on it. While she's happily chowing down, she gets a buzz from a Yu. Another teammate, Monalong, stumbles upon this bomb plum-like fruit that levels her up when she munches on it. While she's happily chowing down, she gets this urgent ring from a Yu. Another squad member, Monalang, got caught by this gnarly boss at the Janky Coast. Xiao He rolls up to find this super gross bloated green boss, the soul devourer Andre Gill, literally munching on other monsters. To her absolute shock, she figures out that the grabbed Monalang is stuck with this creepy creature. Then the boss starts spitting out these purple orbs. Xiao He puts 2 and 2 together, realizing with a gnawing dread that those juicy black plums she was munching on were actually the boss's leftovers, and she lets out this major scream. Her scream grabs the boss's attention, which sends out a crazy psychic wave. All her squad suddenly gets hit with this crazy hunger and starts chowing down, blowing up like balloons. But Xyo, she totally dodges that wave. Realizing the boss only eats the fatties it sees, and her teammates are about to end up as the main course, she frantically calls the MC for backup. The MC flips out when he hears the boss's name because it's the exact bloodline monster he's been hunting for, and he zaps over to her location in an instant. He shows up just in time to stop the Soul Devourer from munching down on her and Wang Meng, who are both looking way too plump. He breaks it down for a confused Xyo that the only way to fight off the boss's tempting whispers is to eat its poop, which is why she wasn't affected. Without further delay, he jumps straight into battle with the boss, unleashing a sick combo of graceful release and instant shadow slash. Then he gets hyped and activates his epic new skill, Crimson Blade, going for this massive strike that hits over 1,000,000 damage and wipes out the Emerald grade boss instantly. The system goes wild with global notifications about his world first kill, and he racks up some epic rewards. Experience points, evolution points, and the super important Soul Devourer bloodline. This bloodline doesn't just pump up his stats, it also gives him the sick ability to snag skills from his own class, letting him permanently boost his attribute conversion rates. He dives right in and devours a low-level skill, which gives him a tiny but lasting buff to his strength conversion. Then comes the real game changer. He figures out the devoured skill turns into a passive that can be leveled up with his infinite evolution talent. He spends his points to upgrade that devoured skill to legendary, jacking up his strength conversion from 3 to 5 physical attacks each time. A slow, sneaky grin spreads across his face as he realizes the endless power of this new ability. If he keeps devouring and leveling up skills, he's going to take his stats to insane heights, making him totally untouchable. And Yu and Wang Meng, now back to their regular sizes, are super thankful to the MC for pulling their butts from a super awkward end inside the Soul Devourer. And you, feeling a bit embarrassed about your quick weight gain, are jokingly reassured by your teammates. As a sweet thank you, the MC just asks for any assassin skill books they can dig up, and then he dips. The scene then flashes back to the moment the MC first touched down at the magic oblique tower, showing the battle against the Despair Princess through the eyes of the fake Heavy Industries Guild. They're struggling hard against the boss, totally relying on their healer Xyo and her Tree of Life skill to keep breathing. Just as they're about to seal the deal, the MC crashes the party and wrecks their portal, cutting off their reinforcements. Moments later, the Despair Princess's health fully fills back up, and she evolves, launching a savage area attack that wipes out the whole guild. Hang Huifan's kid respawns and races back looking for his mom, who fills him in that the boss suddenly bounced back with all its health and turned into a massive egg before wiping them out. Huang Huifan figures out that the MC must have known the boss was going to evolve, which is why he got how their strategy was doomed from the jump. She grimly comes to grips that her guild can't hang against an Emerald grade boss and concludes that only someone like Shadow has a shot at taking it down. Meanwhile, the MC faces off against the new Despair Egg. He recognizes it's got a whopping 10 million HP, but also that it's got 0 offensive moves or ability to sniff out sneaky attacks. Realizing it's an easy target, he starts laying down steady hits, using his skills to pump up his limit break gauge. He fires off Crimson Blade after Crimson Blade, whittling down that huge health pool. He knows that no matter how much HP it's got, taking it down is just a matter of time. The egg finally cracks, revealing not a beast, but a little sleeping girl with just 10 HP. The true form of the Despair Princess. The MC starts to wonder if he has to take out the kid to beat the boss. Before he can do anything, a huge cursed white dragon pops up behind her. The system flags it as a level 100 mythical grade boss, leaving the MC shocked. He catches a faint heartbeat and realizes the tale of the princess cursed by the white dragon might actually be real. But the dragon, it's just an illusion. It flickers away, leaving behind a throbbing cursed heart. A system message rolls in saying he stopped the resurrection of an old god named Sexus, giving him a choice. Use the cursed heart to become a kin of Kexus, or smash it to grab a mythical grade item. Not wanting to risk the consequences of using that heart, the MC decides to obliterate it without a second thought. The moment he wrecks the heart, he gets zinged into a memory. A vision of the past. He finds himself in the body of a white-haired winged dude named Arts, who's chatting with a young green-haired princess. The princess is all upset that Arts is about to leave for battle again, calling him out for breaking his promise to teach her wind magic and lumping him with all the other guys as a liar. To chill her out, Arts hands her the Scale of Promise, this magical trinket that makes anyone who breaks a promise made on it lose their wings and ability to fly. Feeling reassured, she lets him go, and he turns into a stunning white dragon before taking off. There's this magical artifact that'll totally mess you up if you break a promise made on it, making you lose your wings and ability to fly. Feeling a bit better, she lets him go, and he transforms into this epic white dragon before zooming off, leaving 3 shadow clones to chill with her. The MC realizes he's stuck in a super old timeline, right in the heart of the curse. He watches the princess, having a blast playing with the shadow guards, collecting stuff for a killer feast to celebrate Arts' epic return. She's whipping up a super strange menu, including stir-fried obsidian and steamed lava rocks, proudly claiming they're all Arts' favorites. She waits around for him, eventually dozing off at the table. As night rolls in, an old scholar wakes her up saying it's almost midnight. The princess freaks out, realizing Arts hasn't shown up, and the midnight bell is about to ring, which would trigger the nasty curse of the Scale of Promise. The scholar tells her that the fight at the front is super intense, and the enemy has called forth a scary monster from the sea. The scale in her hand cracks, signaling that the promise has been totally broken. Desperate, she scrambles to find a way to break the curse, but the scholar can only hustle her to her dad. As they dash through the halls, Arts suddenly pops up in front of them, looking unharmed. He tells her that the fight was a real hassle, but is taken care of, and then digs into the cold, rock-filled feast she made for him. He cheers her up by agreeing to her earlier request and transforms into a dragon for some fly time. They zoom through the night sky, and she's totally awestruck by the stunning world he sees from above, making him promise to keep it safe forever. He gently brings her back to her room where she thanks him and drifts off to sleep. But then the vision shifts, exposing the harsh truth. Arts is seriously hurt, coughing up blood. He lied to the princess about how he's really doing. And he chats with the king, who spills the tea that the enemy Empire Mega is performing a dark ritual to summon monsters by sacrificing lifespans. Arts grabs his chest where a pulsating cursed growth is visible. Fast forward 5 years, the kingdom is totally overrun by a monstrous army. The princess, now a young woman, rushes to find Arts, begging him to change into his dragon form and fend off the invaders. Arts, though, turns her down, saying his only job now is to keep her safe. The king then reveals the sad backstory of the Mega Empire, a chill nation blessed with blood flowers that gave them crazy long lifespans. To keep the peace, they sent powerful emissaries, the kingdom's guardians, like Arts, to other lands. But this only made the other kingdoms want what they had and fear their forever youth. A secret squad formed to wipe out the Mega People. Plagues, curses, and betrayal fell upon them until their sacred blood flowers started to die. In their last moments of despair, the whole Mega population did a ritual called Abandoned by God, giving up their lifespans to become monstrous vessels that only had one goal: to wipe out humanity. Arts spills that he can't turn into a dragon anymore. He'll just become one of those monsters, and his only wish is to keep the princess safe. The king, old and tired, remembers his long friendship with the forever young Arts, a bond tested by the tough choices he had to make as a ruler. The vision shows the princess's birth and how the king, when he laid eyes on her, finally got a terrible truth. The memory jumps to the fall of the capital. The king's trusted scholar Luen shows up at the tower, badly hurt, to lead the princess to safety, as per the king's last orders. The princess insists on staying, saying the tower is her home, and she won't leave Arts. Arts, knowing what's coming, seals one last promise with her on the Scale of Promise, a vow to never cross paths again, before using his powers to teleport her away with the scholar. He then turns to face the creeping darkness, showing that the cursed ones aren't just the Mega People. As he checks out his own hand, a pulsing red curse mark appears, and a grotesque tentacled creature bursts from the scholar's body, revealing the chilling reality of their enemy. The vision rolls on, showing the aftermath of the princess's departure. Arts faces off against the monstrous form of the old god Sexus, which has emerged from Luen's body. Sexus laughs at Arts, bragging that the monsters born from the Mega People are already spreading across the globe like weeds, and that Arts is falling to the curse. Sexus now calling itself Seed. Usus offers Arts a deal. Hand over his heart, and in exchange it will fend off the monsters, protect the kingdom, and even bring back the princess, letting them chill together forever as guardians of the realm. With his lifespan fading fast, Arts makes up his mind. He shakes on the deal, allowing Sethus to fill his heart with its power before ripping it from his chest. He then shifts into a massive shadowy dragon, a guardian tied to the tower, unleashing a wave of dark flames that cleanses the kingdom of the invading monsters. Sias parties over its win, plotting to use the dragon to snag the lifespans of anyone who gets near the tower, but it realizes that Arts had gotten wise to its plan, and before their pact had tied himself to the tower with his own oaths, effectively trapping both of them there for eternity. Sias, fuming but powerless, vows to one day return and rule the world as endless ages pass. The vision wraps up, and the MC finds himself back in the present, sporting a brand new mythical level skill, Shadow of Annihilation, the exact move Arts used to whip up his shadow guards. He's also scored the key to the magic oblique tower hideout, leveled up, and got a key to something fresh. There's this super sketchy map called Skull City Ruins, and he's pretty sure it's where the Mega Empire used to chill. He heads back to the fake Heavy Industries base where Hong Huifan's digging for her next move. The MC pops up out of nowhere trying to sell her the key to the hideout she just lost. Her kid Hong Seeking freaks out, yelling that the MC totally wrecked their guild just to charge them an insane price for the key. He demands the key back for free and wants some cash on top of that. The MC ain't even sweating it. He just looks at Hong Huifan and jacks his original price up to 1,000. 800 years of lifespan, no cutbacks. Hong Huifan sees her son's dumb move and smacks him, sending him away to grind levels. She apologizes for his freakout, and after a bit of haggling, agrees to the steep price, handing over 10,000 years up front, with the rest of 800 due in 10 days. Deal's done. She tells her guild they're moving to the platinum-grade magic oblique tower and slaps on a temporary 50% lifespan tax to pay off the debt. Meanwhile, Huang Shiking is steaming mad about getting dissed, and he pulls out his secret weapon, the Abyss Vase, which hooks him up with an epic-level abyssal spell, the Abyssal Puppet Curse. He daydreams about offing the MC and making him into a sick puppet. Ghost Jade, clueless about the vase's creepy warning about peeping into the abyss in the bone graveyard, has been grinding hard and finally has enough XP to level up. She becomes a Tier 2 ghost from the Yellow Springs, getting some dope illusion and tracking skills that'll be clutch in her fight against the plague's source. Before logging off, she sends a quick message to the MC, probably to go after Dongfang Yu. The MC, remembering that in his past life, Ghost Shade's revenge went south thanks to a moment of weakness, decides to log off too and make sure she doesn't mess it up again. Meanwhile, at Dongfang Manor, the two guards keeping an eye on Dongfang Yu are busy daydreaming until she shows up looking super cute. She charms them, saying her husband can't keep up anymore, and lures them into a sketchy spot. It's a setup. The Dongfang Yu they see is just an illusion made by Ghost Shade, who swiftly takes them out. She then goes up against the plague's source, who's been babysitting the real Dongfang Yu. He brags that his ammonia barrier sensed her, but he's torn between wanting to kill her and letting her power up for a more epic showdown later. While he's stuck in his own head, Ghost Shade shows him he's been trapped in her Yellow Springs eye illusion since he first looked at her. With a cold last word, she takes him out. Dongfang Yu's son, hearing the ruckus, rushes out with his mom. He finds the guards dead and comes face to face with Ghost Shade. Dongfang Yu recognizes her right away and after a moment of shock begs for her son's life. Ghost Shade, remembering what the MC taught her, ignores the cries and brutally takes her out in front of her kid. Just when she's about to deal with the son, he shows off his hidden class, Undeadlick, and thanks her for freeing him from his mom's grip, offering her some fun with him. He brings his mom's corpse to life, but as he lunges, a familiar voice gives Ghost Shade a tip. The MC shows up telling her that sparing enemies is just being cruel to yourself. He tells her she can't show pity to her enemies, a lesson that really sticks with her. With her revenge wrapped up, a bloody curse mark blooms on her as she cries for her parents, having soaked up all of Dongfang Yu's lifespan. The MC finds her afterward all lost now that she's done what she set out to do. He tells her the game has endless secrets, including how to bring people back, offering her a new choice to drift into nothingness or tag along with him to keep pushing forward. She goes with him. He takes her to his real-world hideout, this sweet high-tech pad, and introduces her to his robot maids, saying they were made using a divine authority book. He promises to help her snag one for herself, locking her in by his side. Meanwhile, Dongfang Yu's hubby Chu Kunchin arrives at the now empty crib to find his wife and kid have bounced without a trace. He immediately blames Shadow, but the lead investigator Lin King isn't buying it, just makes her more suspicious. She spills that some peeps from the Black Dragon Guild caught by another guild confessed that Chu Kunchin hired them to take down Shadow and planned to lure him into a fireworks factory to blow him up. With this tea, she slaps Chu Kunchin with an arrest for abusing power and plotting a terrorist attack. As he's getting led away, two shadowy figures watch from the trees, confirming he's their mark, before disappearing in a puff of purple energy. Chu Kunchin's being carted off in an armored ride, still whining about his arrest. When the convoy gets hit, two mysterious figures, a dude and a girl, take down the guards without breaking a sweat, freezing them in place before the girl unleashes a massive fiery meteor hammer that sets the whole escort ablaze. They swoop in and snatch up the frozen Chu Kunchin, with the guy gloating about his new superpower, a 5-fold stat boost from some dude named Mr. Theodore. They grumble about the paltry lifespan they snagged from the guards. Chillin' in a swanky high-tech pad, he showed her his robotic maids, saying they were whipped up using some book of divine authority. He promises to help her snag one for herself, locking her down right by his side. Meanwhile, Dongfang Yu's husband Chu Kunchin shows up at the now deserted manor, only to discover his wife and kid are MIA. He instantly points the finger at Shadow, but the top investigator, Lin King, calls him out on the lack of proof. Chu Kunchin's rock-solid belief just makes her even more suspicious. She spills the tea that members of the Black Dragon Guild, caught by another guild, confessed while they were being grilled that Chu Kunchin hired them to hit up Shadow's place and had this whole plan to lure him into a fireworks joint to blow him sky high. With this dirt, she slaps Chu Kunchin with an arrest for abusing power and plotting a terror strike. As he's being taken away, two shadows chilling in the trees confirm he's their target before bouncing in a swirl of purple magic. Chu Kunchin is being hauled around in an armored ride, still shouting about how he's not guilty. When the convoy gets ambushed, two mysterious figures, a dude and a chick, take out the guards like it's nothing, freezing them on the spot. Then the girl unleashes this massive meteor fire hammer spell that lights up the whole spot in flames. They snag the frozen Chukunchin with ease, and the guy brags about his shiny new powers, a 5-fold stat boost given by some dude named Mr. Theodore. They whine about the lame lifespan snatched from the guards. But they're totally hyped for the major reward promised for their mission, swearing they're gonna get back at Shadow for taking out their homie Kaien Shishi. Before they bounce, the girl picks up on a survivor and blasts a fireball into the wreckage, but a solo, super messed up guard plays dead and slips past her radar. That guard, a sneaky demon hunter with a sick skill that helps him dodge death once every 100 hours, is barely holding on, having heard that the attackers were some leftover Alice guild peeps sent by a dude named Theodore to snatch Chukunchin. Meanwhile, the MC is taking Ghost Shade to the Tower of Divine Authority in the ruins of Magic City. He spills the tea on the sad backstory of the tower's guardian NPC, Virgin aka Mom, whose 2 kids were done dirty right in front of her. This messed her up bad, leading her to cook up a quest to find her lost kids, a mission that can never be completed. The only way to game the system is for a dude and a girl player to take her on together. She'll think they're her kids, making the fight way easier and the loot way better. Following the MC's lead, they step into the tower and Ghost Shade shouts, "Mom!" The NPC, this fancy lady floating on a crescent moon, drops down and hugs them like they're her long-lost kids. She hooks them up with a mother's blessing, giving them a 20% boost to all their stats, and summons a clone of herself for them to go head-to-head with. The MC, all powered up, unleashes his rad new mythical skill, Shadow of Annihilation, popping out 3 clones of himself. Then he throws down with instant Shadow Slash, and the combined power of his 4 attacks totally wrecks that Emerald Drank Boss clone. Ghost Shade is just standing there, totally mind-blown, staring in disbelief at the insane display of power that took it out in 1 hit. Unleashes his dope mythical skill, Shadow of Annihilation, making 3 clones of himself. He follows up with this instant Shadow Slash, and the combined force of his 4 strikes totally wrecks the Emerald Drank Boss clone. Ghost Shade is left completely mind-blown, staring in sheer shock at the insane display of power that took it down in 1 hit.